Yeah. Well, everyone listening and watching, this is the Capsule or the Duke London podcast. I haven't decided how to brand these things yet, but I think it's all the Capsule, really. That's why we have these mugs here. And we have a couple of special guests. Well, we have one special guest and then another guy who showed up. So we have the one and only Dylan Mayoral, who we all know and love, and has just recently put on a showcase, which by the time this comes out, I've probably given a full review of on the Capsule. I'm glad that he's seeing this. He's talking to me now before he sees what I have to say. No, I'm joking.
I'm scared because
no.
Luke will be honest.
No, but there's nothing too negative, I don't think. And then we have another special guest all the way from Holland, Rotterdam, I want to say.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah. That's correct.
See, that's the only bit of research I did.
only thing you need to
There's
do.
the only thing that matters.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you get to introduce for everyone that can't see him right now, we have Kevin Paradox. I wish I had a applause button. Thanks for being here, bro.
Yes, sir.
Happy. Do you get, if anyone that's from England that isn't from London, when they travel, people say to them, "Oh, you must be from London." Do you get that, "Oh, you're from Amsterdam"?
Bro. for somehow for foreign countries, Amsterdam is the country, not the city. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, you're from Amsterdam. That is, the actual country. No, it's not. And I get that all the time. And the funny thing is that Amsterdam and Rotterdam have this rivalry going, so it's like the worst thing to say to me.
It's low-key insulting,
Low-key. It's high-key insulting.
Sorry.
It's high-key insulting, but I do respect the place though, so it's not a real animosity there. Yeah.
Fair enough. What was I going to ask you? My friend was saying something about Holland and the Netherlands, they're two different places technically. It's not, because I think we think it's Holland and Netherlands is another name for the same thing. Is this a thing?
I think so too, but I don't remember. I know there's a beautiful YouTube video about that that I have watched, but I honestly I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
I believe Holland was the name of a person.
Oh.
Something like that. Let me not say stuff that is
Well,
not correct.
this is why you're here, basically, is to give us a history lesson on on Holland.
Exactly.
That's the main thing I wanted to talk to you about.
That would be really funny, actually.
Just
if I would have actually known.
Yeah.
Oh my
No, but people are oh my god, a podcast with Paradox. Here we go, and it's just about the history of Holland. That's really good.
Yeah, and
In
then
1960.
yeah, and about 20 minutes in, he's kind of is this all it's gonna be? But he doesn't say anything. He just keeps answering.
That'd be so good.
So yeah, obviously you're here in the UK for Dylan's showcase.
Yeah.
Was it just that, or do you have other bits here, or?
For the Meta Mover showcase,
Yeah.
and I have 2 workshops on Saturday, Sunday, 3-hour workshops, if I'm correct. Yeah,
Oh, let's
3-hour
go.
workshops, 12 to 3, both of them. So
Yeah.
those are the 2 things that I'm here for.
Sick. And you've been here quite a few times, I would assume.
Not so much,
No?
actually.
Okay.
I think this is maybe my 3rd or 4th time here.
Okay, nice.
First time that I actually came here was Funkin' Styles, a pre-selection.
Oh,
I don't know what
shit.
year. That was maybe 2011 or 10,
Oh,
I think. Was it Funkin' Styles? or
I want to
SDK?
say 2011, because I don't know that we had it in 2010.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah. And I literally just came here to join the pre-selection. Super random.
That is
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I think I was if it was 2011, we may have won the crew battles that year. I was probably there. How did you do in the hip hop?
I didn't pass the
You
pre-selection.
didn't. Okay.
Nice. And
Yo.
and if you look below,
Yeah.
we will put a video now, Jacob.
Yeah.
Do you have?
I'll
Is there a
dig it out.
video?
I'm sure there's a video somewhere.
Somewhere, but
Really?
yeah. There's definitely a video somewhere.
I'll dig that out.
I think it would be really. I think to share that with your audience, because I think you've been passing pre-selections in battles for so many years now that
Mhm.
there will be people that are watching you that cannot even imagine you not passing a
Mhm.
pre-select. So I think, seeing those videos is
But also,
they would be very beautiful.
It doesn't even necessarily speak on your round. It could be that the judges just.
No, it was my round.
Oh,
No,
I
it
was
was my
gonna
round.
say.
fair enough.
I don't know what the heck I was doing.
Oh, really?
It was my round for sure.
He showed me a
Absolutely.
video. He showed me a video that I'm pretty sure he doesn't show anyone,
Really.
and it it was just,
This is content for your Patreon.
oh man, it was
All the
it was so
videos.
good that the only thing I said after watching it, I was like, I begged him for me to save the link so that I could watch it if I'm ever sad. That's all I could say. It was
Hilarious.
so good. It was so good.
Oh, was it a battle or what was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Man,
it was my I think my first battles in which was also in my city Rotterdam.
Yeah.
For Randy is his name. Is an OG of mine in the same crew as I right now.
Okay.
Actually, Alchemists. Shout out. And he did an event called what was the name of the event? Express Yourself. There we go. Express Yourself. Yeah,
Okay.
it was an all style
and that you did.
event.
You
that
did
and
express
that I
yourself.
with the back flip, the
That's what I'm
jump,
saying.
Oh,
the,
okay.
you know, the knee pads over the knees and the pants, so that all of it.
Sick.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I want to see that.
you won't.
Okay. They will never see the light
Maybe,
of
maybe
day.
in an NFT.
Ooh, that would sell. There you go.
Be careful what you wish for.
How do you find the UK? Is it like have you experienced much of the scene?
Honestly, I
Besides that
wanna experience more.
Mm.
Like, and every time I'm here, but in general, every time I travel, I feel like there is so much happening that I don't have the time to actually sit down and like soak things up
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
You know. So I know the people from the scene,
Mm.
but like the vibe, the energy within the scene itself.
Yeah.
I've only been to 2 battles. I joined one, so I didn't really have the chance to be an experiencer. I had to be an expresser, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And then the other one was Funkin' Styles, but that is so far back, like it's
Bro,
not
the scene
comparable.
is like different now. I
Right?
think. Yeah.
For sure, absolutely.
Because that's 12 years ago now.
Damn, yeah,
Jesus Christ, we are
Yeah,
old.
11, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, the scene's definitely changed. And I think also now, from my experience, it's like the scene's bigger, so there's more different pockets.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's kind of like you could go to 1 battle or 2 battles, and it's like, this is pretty much it. Like, this is the whole scene, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And now it's kind of like, even if you went to like 3, 4 events, it's like there's still parts, even within the styles, like you're like, okay, well, you haven't seen what the whacking scene is like here, or this, or the house dance scene, and it's very rare I find that we have these type of like funkin' styles or Just Taboo UK where we haven't had, obviously because of COVID, we didn't have Just Taboo UK, and those were the battles where it's like you get more people all together, but there's not really that many of those type of battles now where like everyone from the scene comes together. But
Mm.
I feel like that's everywhere though, right? It's not just
Yeah.
here. Like,
that's true.
I
But I
think
guess
Summer Dance, like,
that's
the
the
only-
good thing of smaller scenes.
mm,
Like you kind of can meet everyone.
mm.
But yeah, but do you guys feel? I guess like with so Summer Dance is in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But do you, when Summer Dance comes, is that kind of like? Do you feel like it's a good? Do you feel like a lot of the Holland scene is there, so it feels like a Holland event?
Absolutely not.
No, it's like a pure international
Absolutely.
event.
Yeah, absolutely. There's more outsiders, more foreign people
Yeah.
at Summer Dance than actual like Dutch dancers. I think this year
Interesting.
there were more Dutch dancers, not per se representing in the battles, but more so just being there and seeing them there was like, oh, nice, yo, OG from there, that's lit. But yeah, most of the times it's as if I'm going there to meet all my foreign friends.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Because I think we think of it as like a worldwide, like an international
Yeah,
event, you know.
and it
rather
is
than-
for real,
Yeah.
really.
But is there like, do people not like it, or what's the like? Why is it not really like full of?
I have no idea. I feel like I don't know how to say it, but when something is from your city, from your place, you tend to, I'm not gonna say take it for granted because that's definitely not what is happening. But
But kind of a
you
little
know,
bit.
no, not per se, but like other people are like on it, like yo,
Yeah,
I want to go there, and I have to plan
Yeah.
a vacation trip to get there. So other people, of course, invest more energy into being on time, getting the tickets, etc.
Yeah, because it sells out.
Exactly.
A lot of the shit, right?
And every single year, it's just all my friends. I'm like, yo, are you going to be there to support me? I don't have a ticket. It's sold out.
Okay.
Come on,
It's like,
bro.
bro, you live around the corner.
Like, bro, I almost bought a ticket for my mom. That I would no, wait, a 200 euro ticket for my mom's because I asked her to come because I knew that this year was going to be special. I felt
Yeah.
it way before. And at first, she didn't notice. She didn't realize that I was actually
Competing.
no. She didn't realize how important this one was. I kept telling her like, "Yo, if you ever wanted to come and see me,
This is the one.
this is the one. Trust me." And she didn't. Like, she was busy with her house and whatever. You know, she's renovating her house, so she was focused on that. And I think there was one moment where I had a bit of a issue with my body, and it really got to me. And she saw my emotions switch.
In the battle.
No,
Oh, before.
like before.
Yeah.
And I think when she saw this, she realized like, oh, this actually he's been doing this for the past 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized that he continuously asked me to be there. So then she was
Oh.
trying to get the ticket way too late. So
shit.
my solution was to get her a week pass,
Yeah.
which would have cost like $300 $300. Eventually we worked it out differently, but yeah.
Okay, but she managed to see.
She was there. She was
Sick.
behind me in
Oh,
the
nice.
finals actually.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's good. And that was your first time winning Summer Dance.
Yeah.
Sick. How was that? Talk me through the experience. Because I guess this must be, even though we said you don't, it doesn't really feel like a Dutch event there. But I guess winning something that big in your country must mean maybe adds layers to it.
It adds layers to it because I was able to give something to my family and my friends. For me personally, and the closest ones to me, we always knew.
Okay.
Like it wasn't wow.
Yeah.
I knew from the beginning when I started participating that it was inevitable for me to get to this point. So when it actually happened, I was very calm and very empty even. Because now the journey had not ended, but there was a what do you call that? Like a cover of the book.
Yeah,
that
closed.
The book,
Yeah,
it
closed
closed.
the chapter kind of
yeah,
thing,
the
yeah.
chapter. Thank you. The chapter closed. But it was more so the ability to have my mom's, my father was there as well. He was
Sick.
up in the crowd, and my little sister, and that was a lot for me
Yeah.
because that was the first time my sister saw me dance. Actually,
No way. Like in real life.
yeah, in real
Oh,
life.
wow.
Yeah. She's 2 years old, so.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
right. I
and,
thought in my head I was picturing like an 18-year-old or something.
No.
Okay.
She's 2.
That makes more
Bro,
sense.
listen, I was so nervous.
Yeah,
I was
I
so I was good the whole time. But
Yeah.
the second my dad said, you know what, there's a change of plans. Your little sister is coming with me to see you. I just got nervous.
That got you.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That got
That's
me.
interesting.
I don't care about nobody in that room.
Yeah.
1,500 people. I don't feel nervous. But the second it's my little sister, I'm like, what is she gonna think?
That's gonna be
So-
crazy, like her watching it back when she's older, like watching the videos and be like, you're there in the crowd, like
Yeah, yo, when I won, she was like, Kevin won, yeah. She didn't understand nothing, but it was
there's
just
something happening.
it's beautiful, and that's surprise that is just priceless.
Yeah.
Winning the event, like I said, I always knew.
Yeah, it was gonna happen at some point.
I
Yeah.
always knew, and I was waiting for the right time. Because a lot of people ended up saying like, "Oh man, you finally won, finally," and I'm like, "No, it's not finally. I chose to lose 2 or 3 of the times that I participated. It was a choice. They asked me, you win or you lose. I said, I lost. That is, I didn't leave it up to nothing
cho-
else
yeah,
but
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So
Wow.
I knew what I wanted from it, and I guess that's the last thing that I can say about it, or unless you want to ask something.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think with the you win or you lose thing, like I'm always curious about people's like mentality behind these things because I think the way. Like whenever I'm watching it at home or like when I'm with friends and we're shouting at the TV, like it's always like just say you won even if you think you lost so that you can go an extra round and then you let you know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
like at that point, like me being a couch analyst, I'm like watching and I'm like, just say you won so that we can see another round. And then it goes to the crowd, or whatever it is, judges and then crowd or something. So it's like, let them decide. And then, you know what I mean? It's almost like you're choosing to bow out when you say I lost. And then, but I'm always like curious to see, because I know it's for sure different for different people, but like your mentality, because you said 2 or 3 times you've said that. So what was your thinking behind that? And what is it
3.
that, yeah. So what is it that like, because obviously that's you basically saying I'm out for the day, like I'm done kind of thing. Like after this, I'm not going to battle anymore. Even if the crowd, everybody here thinks I won, I'm saying no, I'm done.
Yeah.
So what does that do for you? Like what was the process of like, why did you come to that decision basically?
Well, for me personally, when I go into battles and when I dance, I'm not searching for the win. To me, the win is a
Byproduct?
maybe byproduct, but more so a response to what I am able to harness in the moment.
Okay.
So that to me is the most important part. What am I harnessing in the moment? What am I able to share with people in this moment? You know, and basically every single year I didn't share what I wanted to share, and so winning to me would have not had the right impact
Right.
because it wasn't how I wanted it to be. You know,
Right. Interesting.
so a lot of people don't look past that. They just look at the win like, oh, I'm
Of
just
course,
trying
yeah.
to. But I see value that is way bigger, like way beyond winning the event. Because how many of them can you remember?
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Summer dance.
Yeah. I'll wait.
I remember the one you won.
Funny. No, but you know, like
true.
there is, of course, I have a lot that I remember because it really touched me, but that's what I'm searching for. I'm not searching for a win. I'm searching for something that goes way beyond that, that can actually reach to people, you know. And this year I was in a place where I was able and capable of giving exactly what I felt, and I felt the response from the audience. So there was a connection that I felt that was valuable to continue to move forward to through the finals, basically. You know,
I like that reasoning.
Yeah.
Sick. So, and what about? Is there any? I think I guess I'm asking you to speak on other people's mentality, but like, is there any kind of thing about who you battle? Would that make you more or less likely to say you win or you lose? Like, do you? Because I see some people that are like, I'm trying to think of who, but like, they get the mic and they're kind of like, oh, I respect this person, blah blah. Maybe they're like their OG or their teacher, and they're like, oh, I lose because I could never. You know what I mean? Like this type of mentality, which I'm back and forth on my opinion of, but. Is there anyone that you would kind of give that level of respect to, of like, I'm not going to say I won against you, or would you just be like, if this is my day, see you later?
if I would have, this is so funny that you ask because I've had all these conversations.
Okay,
if
yeah,
I
yeah.
would have had to battle Joseph Go, I told my friends, like, listen, I'm going to have a big problem because to me, this is beyond the moment of the minute or the few minutes of dancing. Like what he is doing right now is literally giving the essence of the culture. Like there is nothing I can do the best moves and have the most amazing musicality and really express. Sure, I can, but that is the essence. And maybe I would rather highlight his essence as opposed to take this for myself, because to me the most valuable thing within the dance, within the battle, is celebrating the dance itself. When we celebrate the dance, and that gets like the we are able to bring the highest form of dance within the event, that is the true win. And that's what I'm continuing to search for. So yeah, when he lost,
you kind of like, phew,
bro. When he lost, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he was incredible, man.
And actually, what was funny information. I was even still thinking of giving it to Lumi.
Okay.
Based on the fact that he used so much foundational elements of hip hop in his rounds. And I was asking myself, like, okay, you know what I got, I know what I can do, and I value my emotional expression that I had within this a lot. But what is more important for movement in general? Like, how can I celebrate movement to the best in this moment? Is that by giving myself the opportunity to maybe win this, or is it by giving it on to him, you know?
Right.
And
to I was push him further.
And I was close. but all my friends, you know, I just ask my friends just to be sure, like, yo, what is going on? Like, where do we stand? After all of them verified, like, nah.
Take it.
Yeah, especially also because of the ending of the last round that I did. I valued that moment of connecting to spirit, that spiritual moment that I had. I valued that really highly,
Mhm.
and my messaging within that I valued really highly, and that's when I choose to win. Not if I dance well,
Sure.
just what is the message and did it.
Yeah, and I guess
come
also the other side of that maybe is that if you like, because you're thinking of the kind of the battle and the artistic platform, I guess, that these people have, or whoever has that progresses through, right? So you're saying if you were to like give it up to Lumi, then he can go on and showcase more of his dance and more of his art kind of thing. And
Not per se in that.
no, okay, go on.
More so, who was able to harness the beauty of dance best?
Okay, right.
Because I want everyone to look at that. I don't want you to look at me or him as a person. I want you to look at the dance. Like
Right.
this right now was the highest form of movement that we were able to see today. I want you to look at that and get inspired by that. You know, and based on that I decide like, okay, what am I doing?
Got you. Okay, that makes sense. Right, fair enough. Yeah, that doesn't fit with what I was going to say then.
That's why I thought let me just
yeah, no, because I think it's just also I know a lot of people. I feel like I'm in between the two worlds. I don't know if where you see yourself on this, but I think I'm half I like the artistic expression, as specifically talking in battles, but then half of me likes to compete and it likes the game of it. You know what I mean? And I think part of me would be like thinking of people that have like kind of given it up to like OGs or people that have taught them. I'm like, I want to be able to beat you. Like I want you to give it up because I actually won, not out of respect. You know, like the respect is if I lost, tell me I lost. You know what I mean? If there was a student of mine that smoked me, it's like, yeah, you smoked me. Like you deserve that. And it's on me to like, you know what I mean? So I think there's that side of it if you're competitive as well, that you're like, no, don't give me the win. Like I want to take the win. You know what I mean? A little bit. But I guess it's, where you stand in terms of why you battle, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm extremely competitive.
Are you?
Yeah. I used to do basketball, martial arts,
Right.
tricking.
We'll see tonight.
What do you mean?
Competitive.
Oh, nah, bro. Nah, I'm chilling.
We're going
tonight.
go-karting tonight.
We're going go-karting, but this is I'm not risking my life for a dub. Like that's not, at least not here. But I'm extremely competitive.
Okay.
Absolutely. But not to an extent where it takes over my highest appreciation for
Right.
the dance.
That's
You know, I'm competitive, and then the moment we have to decide, or now then I calm down. I'm like,
Right.
was I able to, compete in a way that I can now value in that way as well?
So like the competitive side more comes out in the delivery of the round.
Yeah.
And then you're like, right in the round, you're like, this is pushing me. This is making me want to one up or, do my best round. And then after you're like, okay, it's done. Let's be logical about it. Yeah,
Exactly.
That's a really good, I don't know how to say it, but like you're being able to separate that is not everyone can do that. Like there's a lot of people that are like 3 hours after the battle, they're still pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For people that are very, very, very competitive, it is hard to find that balance and understand your priorities. Like, is it about the winning?
Yeah.
Or the self-exploration and
That's the thing, man.
and the art? Yeah.
Because it
That's the
does
thing.
feel shit when you try your best and lose. Like we all know that, like it feels like shit. But it's also like I mean, it depends on how you validate yourself and your movement, I guess, because it's like even the most qualified judges with the most intricate system, it's still somewhat opinion based. So it's like, okay, cool. If I lose this battle, 3 people all voted against me, cool. But then 10 people come up to me afterwards and say how inspiring the round was or how much it made them this, or someone texts me like 3 days later like, oh, your round was great, you know what I mean? Or someone makes Insta stories about you sleeping and dreaming about you, and but then it's like,
I see everyone really loved the series, man.
Yeah, man, bro.
The
Maybe you should start
series.
another career, man.
Yeah.
Shit, you're doing a good job.
no, but I mean, yeah, so if you have that type of effect, it's like, all right, what's more important? Because it's like 3 people voted against you, but how many people you've inspired, or and I think even on a more practical level, I try to say this a lot to people, but it's really hard to until you get the experience, I think. But is that that's not always what makes you successful in the dance industry and especially in the battle world. And I think this is something. What, you disagree or you agree?
No, I agree.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I agree daily.
But I think this is something that, you know, it makes me think about you, where you have this outlook where you might be competitive, but you're also, like you said, you gave up these potential wins of the whole thing like 2 or 3 times. There's probably, like we said about Funkin' Styles, there's probably countless other times when you either haven't won or haven't passed a pre-selection or this type of thing. But there's a lot of people that love your dance. And it's like, we often think, or I think younger dancers often think that the way to become like a well-known famous dancer is to win everything. And it's actually not the case, because some of the best dancers in the world that we all know and love have lost a lot, like, and haven't,
in many different ways.
Exactly, and haven't even really won. Like, if there's sometimes you're like, all right, pick your favorite dancer, and it's like, right, name me all the battles that you know that they've won, and it's like, oh shit, actually, just no, they didn't win a summit. No, they didn't. Fuck, and then you're like,
Yep.
Wait, then how are they the best? And it's like, because of their mentality and their approach to the dance. It could be like semi-finals or something, but if that's the round that goes viral or the round that everyone's sharing around, this is what's going to carry you, I think, further, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I learned that early on. I think 2012 or 13 was Battle Bat, my second time going to France.
Okay.
And I saw Salah versus Hoan.
I was there.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, I was there.
That's
That
crazy.
was a
Wow,
fucking good
that's
battle.
so cool.
That was crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was there. I was there as well. I participated. I won. But
You won in 2013?
yes, sir.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Who
That's
were you against in the
mega.
final?
Was it Boo Boo? Yeah, it was Boo Boo in the final.
Ah, yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
Shout out. And basically what happened was, in that battle, Salah lost the battle, but he won the crowd.
Yeah.
And everyone continued to talk about that battle after it for a long time. And I realized, like, damn, now that is an impact. To not join an event because the event is big and will make you be seen, but to have such a authentic personality and an authentic expression that whatever event you go to now becomes something. I was like, yo, that is a complete switch, you know? So that's what I tell some of the dancers who talk to me in the Netherlands, and if they talk about like, yeah, so, you know, what's the next goal, or what should I do, or which battle? I remember one of, I don't want to say one of my students, but one of the younger generation dancers was like asking like, yo, how do I prepare for this battle? And I'm nervous. And I just shared some thoughts and how I felt about it. And then he was like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't take this too serious. Summer dance is like the one that is really important. And then I told him, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It is the exact one where you are in perfect condition, because that battle is you're gonna be able to create something for the people there. And that to me is really special, when people are able to let go of that idea of exactly what you said, like, oh, I gotta win this, and are able to search for their best expression within whatever they do. You'll be extremely amazed how much further you can get. I'm a perfect example, because what battle did I win before Summer Dance that is of that status? I never passed the pre-selection of Just a Boo.
Really? Who did you do it with?
Dimension, yeah, every single time. My guy.
I remember seeing you guys at Euro Battle, I want to say.
Yeah, we did win that one. Yeah,
You did win. Yeah.
yeah.
You were good that year.
Oh, it's
really good.
He remembers that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
That
really
was
cool.
when Chase won Poppin'.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy?
yeah. That was dope. But so yeah, there's not a lot of events. I didn't win any of the big ones. But I was seen as a person who did.
Yeah, but it's like, it's that, because it's not so much. It's so funny because the whole setup of battles is who's the winner, like even the way the whole knockout thing happens, it's like even second place doesn't get any money, they don't get posted anything.
Yeah.
It's like the winner is the only person that matters. So in our head, it's like that equates to these people in our head who are seen as the big names.
Yep.
But all those big names are not there because they won, which is really like counterintuitive. Like you think like, wait, how would they be allowed? Like, how have they a big name? Like, how is Alex the Cage? How is Paradox? How are these people big names if they didn't win this? And it's like, it's hard to fix in your brain. You know what I mean? Like, or to lose in the semis see someone get the glory and stand there with the thing and take the picture and think I had more impact than them. You know what I mean? Like it's it's hard to fix in your brain, I think.
Mhm.
Oh, definitely. Someone who had the biggest impact for me, and I've already mentioned this to you literally 3 times. We've spoken about this 3 times, but Wesley this year, I've never seen him before, and I believe he lost in the semis or quarters of the house. I think it was semis. He got really far.
He was at the judge table, so that's I think that's quarters. Yeah.
Quarters, yeah. Like for me, yeah, he was. I kept thinking about his rounds after Summer Dance finished, and then there were a few people in the whacking that they didn't pass like second round or something like that. And the locking, yeah, the locking. I think they didn't pass second round, but I was like, I remember that. And also same with the popping. There was someone from Korea, I believe, that Nelson beat, but I remembered his previous rounds. I can't remember his name, but I just remember thinking there is a very high level of technique here, and he had a very dynamic range of movement.
I know the dude who you're talking about, and I forgot.
Yeah, and the Sodaki, is that his name? Damn.
Soraki,
yeah. I've been watching him for years,
bro.
And the funny thing is, when I first discovered him on Instagram, I was thinking, I wonder if he will ever come to Europe. Like, I wonder if I'll ever see him at Summer Dance or something like that.
Do I know?
I don't know, but he's like a young boy from Japan, maybe like 18, 19. Yeah, Soraki, like very interesting style, very distinct.
Oh yeah, the D Soraki.
Very interesting.
Let's do this. So check this out.
Here we go.
I actually danced with Soraki when Soraki was this small.
Oh wow!
There's a battle of me. We were partnered together.
No.
When he was like this small.
Where was he?
In Japan. This was in
Japan.
Japan. I think Nagoya, but I'm not 100% sure about
Sick.
that. I was trying to pull it up, but I actually turned my phone off.
Oh,
so. But yeah,
yeah.
He had a pink shirt on, super long, and it was just and he was awesome at that time. Like awesome. It was so fun. So when I later on saw him, and it's the guy who it is now, I was so shocked. Like,
I remember you. Yeah.
His technique,
you're still here.
His facility within his body. It looks like he's a contemporary dancer because, like, it looks like he's trained in ballet or contemporary because he is able to put his body in positions that is not seen as normal or common within the street dance realm, and he's very flexible.
Yeah. Like in a very interesting way. Too.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not like splits.
No, it's
you know
not.
I mean?
Like it's still hip hop street dance, but it looks like he might have had. I don't even think he has. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
But very interesting movement, I think. Yeah.
I think this is what is also still like the value of going to events, because when like even for Summer Dance, right? I paid for the popping and I paid for the hip hop, and I watched those two, right? I've seen some clips of the whacking on Insta just from people I know that have posted it. I watched a couple of the house bits because some of the UK guys were there, but I haven't really seen a lot of the other stuff. And I think what you're saying about like the people in the other styles, I mean, you like everything, I think. Yeah, you're not so focused on one, but like even that is sometimes the joy you get out of an event. It's like you go for the popping or the style that you do, even if it's to enter or to watch or whatever. But then you're like, oh shit, I didn't expect to fucking fall in love with whacking. Or, you know, it's just like something completely different. And I think it's like, again, it's like this type of thing where you don't really realize your impact when you enter a battle. Like it could be someone that you didn't even come to see your style or isn't even really paying attention, but they just happen to catch your battle and they're like, oh, maybe I should go to a whacking class or whatever it might be, you know? But yeah, I think it's mad important for people to understand, because it really, I think it changes the way you, like I think what your mentality is now is like what it changes you into if you have that way of thinking, because it's not then about, like, as an example, one of my great memories of my dance is I did a prelim, and it was, I don't know if it was battle prelims. No, it was normal prelims. I did a prelim here, really tiny battle. in a dance studio here, and Umu was judging, and she's someone that I love her dance. Like she's fucking amazing.
She was so good.
Yeah, she's fucking sick.
So good this year.
And I don't think I'd met her before, but basically I did the battle and I like killed my prelim just because I was in that mode of like, I don't care how, if I win, if I go to the first round, whatever, I'm just going to do like, I just here to dance really well. Like that's it. I just want to have fun, enjoy the dance. And then she was like, she loved my prelim and she said, you know, when you mark the like out of 10, she said, like, she showed me the paper and she's like, I didn't even put a mark, I just put a little heart. And I was like, for me, and then I lost the first round to Josh, fucking kicked my ass. But it's like, for me, I'm like, because I had that mentality of like that, this is my memory of that day. Tiny battle, like, I wouldn't have even remembered it otherwise, but I had a great time and I had an impact on someone. Like, she enjoyed it. Even as a judge, she was like, yeah, that was a sick prelim, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I made someone somewhere feel something, you know what I mean? And I think whether you're talking about the artistic or the internal, or you're talking about like the business and the reputation and the marketing side of dance, just focusing on each round and giving your all, kind of what you were saying, it's like it does way more than you think. You know what I mean? Like, because I think the fear is you do that, you lose, and then everyone forgets, and you're like, well, I put my all in and no one cares about me, when I should have just tried to win or done the tricks or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's an important one. Which this is why I think you're a great like role model for that. Is this type of mentality? But the other thing I was going to ask on that is, how do I phrase this? When you go into a battle, are you thinking more about yourself or like the exchange with the person? Because how does it work when, if you're like, right, I want to express myself in the way that I want to express myself, but now you're exchanging back and forth with someone. And I've seen you battle, you know, you're not a battler where you just like close off and do your thing. Like, you're really interactive, you're dancing with people. And
this, I'm sorry,
No,
I just wanna add something there.
yeah.
One of the most fascinating things I find about Kevin Paradox is that I've often received feedback. You know, it's very prominent in battle culture that you have to battle your opponent, and sometimes people want to encourage that kind of aggressive tone towards your opponent, and that you're not supposed to be friends, or like it's a battle.
Right,
you know, it's the culture. Like it's something that is discussed a lot. But for me, like watching, I don't think I've ever, like, I'm not sure if I've ever seen Paradox have like a super aggressive tone towards his opponent in a very I know there's another in an obvious way. I mean,
sure.
And at Summer Dance, what I found most fascinating is that not only did he not do that, he actually like encouraged and supported his opponent, and it still, for me, it didn't lose the battle element of it, and it felt more connected, and there was that exchange, and it was still exciting, you know, because on the other hand, Nelson in Popping, he had that fire, and that was exciting to watch, because it's like, you know, it's, you're watching someone dominate with that energy, but it was still also exciting, and to see that too, and that was interesting.
I think it has to do with the stakes, right? When somebody puts himself out there in that way, the stakes become higher, right? Because, okay, now you gotta win.
I agree.
You know, and so, you know what I mean? And so it becomes exciting for everybody to see.
That's a very good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's also when it's close and you do that. Because the thing I don't like is when people have that aggressive thing, but it's like, we all know you're gonna lose, right?
or when it's too
Like,
forced.
why-
Like, I don't like it when it's too forced. For me, like,
exactly.
like here's my issue. Like, when people cuss their opponent, or they say things in the battle that they would never say to the person, like, like on a, like, you know,
in a real life situation.
Yeah,
Or they wouldn't back it up.
like it's tough. I understand that you're in a character and it's part of the culture, but I feel like I have seen moments where it seems like they take it too far, and then they expect to just like,
but it's like
after, like, I don't know. It's
very strange, because it's like,
what's real and what's the character.
Yeah, but it's like, I guess I get it with the competitiveness because I
Yeah.
used to play basketball, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
you play basketball or football or anything like that. No.
Boxing.
Boxing. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's the same in boxing, but like
Oh yes, it is.
trash talking in basketball
Yes.
is like a huge part of, especially
Yes.
when you're playing like outdoor, like
Yes.
not proper games.
It's huge.
But I think the thing that is maybe more established in something like basketball is like there's like a line in a way. You know what I mean? If you're talking about their game or you're saying like challenging them or like you can't defend me or whatever it is, it's like, okay, cool, because I'm gonna prove to you that I can or whatever.
Mhm.
But if you're just like saying like you're a piece of shit and fuck your mum or whatever it might be, it's like, whoa, hold on, like what's going on? But I feel like in battles, like people haven't really established what that is, because I think maybe b-boys a bit more, but yeah, there is some stuff that people are saying. It's like, what are you doing? Like, first of all, and second of all, it's like the point of it is to like spark the competition. Do you know what I mean? It's like me and you could battle,
Yes,
and
yes,
especially
yes.
if we're going multiple one round battles. It's kind of like, why just do your round? Like it's too long. If we're going a few rounds, or like it's a call out battle, and we're talking back and forth about our rounds, and it's like, oh, like come on, like you're not using your feet or blah blah. Like, okay, this is like we're sparking the conversation and the competitive side of each other, and that's where I can still be like cool afterwards, because like, oh well, yeah, it's all fun, like. But yeah, when you're going a bit too far, I think it's like, what's the aim here? And my whole thing on this is that people just watch too much YouTube. And then they're like, oh, I saw my favorite b-boy do this, so that's the way I've got to battle every time. And it's like,
It's not a problem if that's what you if that's who you are, then that's okay.
but even yeah, I guess
But
even if it's who you are, it's just like, what? is
the
your-
the culture welcomes it. The culture welcomes that behavior
in
and
certain
that
places,
attitude
yeah.
and that fire. So it's fine. It just, for me, it's interesting to see the switch up in
Oh,
battle and
bro.
out of battle, and then it's like, that's interesting.
yeah. I mean, for sure.
It kind of all has to do with the relationship that the person has with dance and battles. You know, growing up within the scene, I always heard people say, "Yeah, it's just a game. Battles is just a game," and that is for a lot of people the mentality, which is something I cannot connect to.
Okay.
Because there is so many valuable things that I've done within the battles that the battles have done for me.
Yeah.
And the deep, honest connections and yeah, the deep, honest things you can share with people.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not a game.
Yeah.
that is not. It changed my life. That is
Right,
not
right,
a
right.
game.
Yeah.
You know, but because some people have that, it's just a game type of mentality. They don't try to put too much weight behind it. They don't think about it too much. And then sure, they come out with a character, try to, you know, I feel like a lot of people who join and participate in the battles want to keep it very simple within their mind. They don't want to think about it too much. And so it's just, this is what I said and that's it. I don't have to, you know, it's
Back it up
it's
or
not
explain,
even,
yeah.
you know, it's not even a well thought out thought. It's literally just, I bluntly said this in the moment because I have to try and push and pull within this battle, and whatever came out,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we both know that it's a game, right? You know,
It's like a gonna get out of jail free card. Like,
in a way.
oh, it's just a game. I didn't mean it.
Bro. Yes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that within my city, and I don't know, there's not a lot of people that know that, except for the ones that ended up battling people from my city. We don't do that. None of us.
Oh, in your city,
Oh,
you don't like trash talk in.
we can,
Yeah.
but it's not a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, so when
Yeah,
somebody's
yeah.
like,
So
oh,
if-
it's a game afterwards, nah, you go, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So-
my OG was the same, you know, again, Randy.
Interesting.
That was a constant like, yo, don't talk to me like that because you don't know me.
Yeah.
And this is life to us.
Yeah.
It
That's
might
what
be
I
a
mean.
game, but this is life to us. And so for me, when I participate in a battle, I try to be the exact person that I am. I don't try to portray a character because I know that the person that I am is timeless because people can relate to it. The character that I create is a character. You can't relate to it as much because when you go outside and you go live your daily life,
Yeah.
now my character is just entertainment and not a person that you can connect to and reflect to. You
Yeah.
know, if I go into a battle and I use every single emotion that I have, when I'm happy, I share. When I'm sad, I share. I cried on stage. I'll give you everything. I'll be real on that stage. Now, this goes way beyond just entertainment because I don't want to be an entertainer. And as to by the way, I do have moments where I battle and it's a very aggressive response. The pre-selection Euro battle, there was a moment where somebody tried to draw me out, and at that time we didn't have a very good relationship between us. So I didn't feel, I don't know, it didn't feel right. The energy was a bit off to me. I don't know if that was for him too, so I can't say anything about that, but that's what I felt in that moment, and I very aggressively did that round. Where after I got pushed in the round, like to the back, and did a move off of that as well to like continue the momentum. So it does happen, and honestly I like that energy. If people would would get more on that side of me, it would be a problem, but it doesn't happen, and that's okay. Me, I personally always choose to uplift somebody in the battle because, again, the most important thing to me is the movement, and your movement is pure. It's not a person, it's the movement. So that means that as you dance, I'm gonna uplift you because you are doing that exact thing that I praise, and you know, that's what I'm looking at. Besides that, I found out apparently I love making the highest stakes for myself, and that is how I thrive. So summer dance, we were supposed to run in to see who is like first, and the person who runs in first doesn't have to start.
Yeah.
I thought I turned it off.
That's
Yeah. No, the person who ran in first was allowed to go second. I walked up the stage slowly, purposely.
You're like, I'm not trying.
Yeah.
No, I'm going first because when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah.
And I knew it was mine. And I apparently love putting myself in a position where I have more difficulty. Because then I don't know. I guess I play a lot of games with my family, and I love I love coming out of a position where it is really difficult, and you wouldn't think I would win.
To like
Coming out of that, I get this high out of it. Like there's a picture on like we have a picture where that happened, and my eyes are red. I was so like, I was in ecstasy just by playing Monopoly, you know. And oh yes, and I started doing the same thing in battles. Want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And then for some reason it sparks me. I acknowledge your round and applaud you, not only because I truly appreciate what is happening, but I want you to be at your best. I am not going to downplay you. I'm not going to try to distract you. I want you to give me the best you have, because then if I battle you now, it's real. Now,
you're just bringing back the emotions I felt in summer dance. No, bro. Like he's not even explaining it right. This now, joking. Can you imagine? No. I just wanted to talk about that. Like when you called out Rubik's, because in summer dance you can call out.
You bring someone back.
Yeah, you can bring someone back. And in the previous battles, you know, some people you could argue that they didn't call back strong competition.
I mean, that would be the game way of playing it, is call back someone
the safe way. Yeah. And I think like when he did call out Rubik's, I understood, like everyone there understood that if in the mind of Paradox, if he wanted to win, if he was going to win, it's going to be like the hardest way possible, or the best way possible, in a sense, that in a way where no one has any excuse. It's like the most legit win, in a sense.
And now I'm gonna stop you there.
Oh yeah,
because you're not explaining it.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Actually, apologies.
Yeah, no worries. There's actually a way different reason to why I brought back Rubik's. We were talking to each other for a year prior about meeting each other in battle, because we both were going through basically heartbreak, actual love heartbreak. And I saw his rounds wherever he battled, and I was like, yo, you're dancing in the battles, but you're literally expressing your real life experiences through the battles. There's almost nobody besides myself, you, and a few others that dare to do this. And we started connecting and really, you know, get a certain relationship within that, talking about those moments like, yo, I see you right now, man. So when Summer Dance came, we already talked about it, that I would bring him back to have that exchange. Sadly, we didn't get a heartbreak song, because if we would have gotten that, if we would have gotten that, it would have been a lot.
Yeah.
And but you know, it was a good first exchange, and I know there's way more to come after this. So that's the actual reason, you know. I don't pick someone because I want to show that it's the hardest route. I pick someone for me.
For you, right. Fair.
Yeah.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah, man, it was dope.
But I guess the side effect is that you got the hardest route.
Yeah, it's the side effect of that.
He was one of the strongest that day, so it was so epic.
Mm.
It was really epic that he.
My mom was so scared. My mom was like, "Yo, every time he danced, I was like, I wasn't sure what was gonna happen."
Rubik's was scary. Like,
And it's so funny because for me, I didn't feel anything. Like nothing touched me in those moments. So whenever people were like, "Yo, that was so close,"
Yeah. You're just like, I'm just here.
yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah. But I guess also if you're used to being in that position, and I guess also if you have the mentality where even if you hadn't won, it's not the end of your career. Doesn't mean you're not good. You know what I mean? So if you have that, you're like, then let me just do what I do here. And
When it's your time, it's your time.
yeah. That's interesting. I was going to ask you as well, if you don't mind talking about it, but like you kind of had a big injury, huh?
Have
A big injury still.
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Even doing those rounds at someone else?
yeah.
That's you injured? Shit. But yeah, because I'm pretty sure I remember kind of you kind of being more present in, like I remember seeing your name a lot. And then I remember that you had an injury, right? So whenabouts did you get this injury at the beginning?
2016, after I battled the twins.
Where was that?
Summer Dance.
Ah.
Summer Dance 2016, the month after I went to Singapore, did an event there, a battle, and had a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
During that workshop, like it's always in the most random moments that you get injured.
Always.
Doing a workshop, did a few moves, bop bop boop boop, landed in a certain position, and I heard.
What was it?
It was my ankle, but I didn't know what happened. I thought maybe I thought that maybe my ligament kind of crossed like the bone and just made that snap. That was not it. So 2 years later, because I had tried to get help from a lot of different places. Went to 2 orthopedists, if I say it right. Went to 2 physiotherapists. And 3 of them, or actually I went to 3 orthopedists. And 3 of these people, the first ones that I went to, said, there's nothing wrong. We don't see anything. It's just, you know, they tried to say like, oh, you're flat-footed, so that's why it hurts. Because I'm black and we're all flat-footed, you know.
Like,
that's the actual thing.
Explain the crack, I heard.
You know, but and so they gave me all these remedies for flat-footedness, but it was weird because my whole life I had no problem with that.
Right.
To then after 2 freaking years finding out that there was a piece of bone floating in my ankle for the past 2 years, and I had been doing battles and teaching and all that shit.
That's
with
crazy.
That freaking floating bone. So yeah, I had my surgery in 2019, came back, did the Summer Dance afterwards, like 3 or 4 months after that. And since then, sadly, because of such a long injury in the ankle, it has been transferring into my knees, into other parts of the body. So sadly, I'm not healthy right now yet. No.
Damn. So are you kind of doing ongoing physio and stuff for that?
I'm trying, but it's really hard sometimes because first of all, of course, I have a bit of trust issues now.
Right.
You know, whenever they say, "Oh, it's just this," I'm like, "But is it?"
Because there was
show
a
me
piece
the
of bone
pictures
floating
for 2 freaking years. Show me the pictures, bro.
That's the tough thing with going through a serious injury. Now, anytime you feel even the slightest bit of pain, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna need surgery again."
Because stressed.
Yeah, I had the same thing with my shoulder. Literally the same thing. I hurt my shoulder, and for like 5 months went to see so many different people. None of them knew what it was. after 8 months, finally got an MRI scan. Oh, you need surgery. I'm like, but
Bruh,
8 months?
Yeah, for real.
I tried to
Yeah.
ask you guys about this. Yeah.
For real, like I warned you.
Yeah.
I told you it was.
Because
I know
we
my
know our
body.
bodies. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
for
we know
real.
when something is not
Yeah.
up, and it doesn't take 8 months, 2 years, like,
Figure that out.
and the pain doesn't really change,
Nope.
right? It hurt the same,
Yeah.
and normally it takes like a couple weeks, a couple months. Your body should change, but yeah, it didn't.
Yeah. And when
Yeah.
it doesn't go away, you're like, okay, there's something really wrong.
Yeah, man. So I'm trying to live with it now.
Yeah. And how long were you out for? Like, did you have a period where you weren't battling?
A very long. Well, let me tell you this. I in let me see. In July, I found out. I did. What was the event? It's from area. It's Majid's event. I forgot the name. That's so.
Area number
y-
40 something.
Wait. No, but it's 47. But the name of that event. Damn it. I'm sorry, Majid. Shit. Summer Week. Woo!
There we go.
Oh my god, yeah, that's it.
Got there in the end.
Shout out to Summer Week. I got you. Okay. Anyways.
Great event.
Yeah, for real. But I participated in the battle, and while I was going there, I realized that it was my first foreign battle in 6 years.
Oh, shit.
6.
How?
6.
How?
That's crazy.
How is that possible?
So basically,
oh,
yeah. So basically, Singapore, where I got injured, was the last one,
Mm.
and then I stopped for 6 years going to outside battles because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I did some events here and there in my own country. I stupidly did one with what is it? What do you call that?
A crutch?
With
Really?
with a
You did
crutch
not.
on one leg.
you battled
Oh my
with
God.
crutches?
With
Yes, you
crutches.
did. Oh, paradox.
Okay, listen. So at a certain point, it was do or die for me. I was like, yo, if you're gonna, it's been 2 years and you can't help me. What am I going to do?
I have to like try.
What am I going to do? Am I really just going to sit here for the rest of my life, not do? Then I'm just going to have to figure it out. So that was like, it was stupid, but it was a moment of just desperation to be myself in that moment, which now I learned something about differently because being injured doesn't mean that you lose yourself. You're transforming into something new.
This is what I was going to ask you about, because you got injured at a point when, like, it's one thing I think to get injured when you're on the come up, I guess, and it's like, okay, nobody really knows me yet, so it's like, all right, I can delay my arrival, I guess, you know, until I'm healthy. But it's like, it's almost like you had this rise, you got like, oh, Paradox is one of them guys, bang, injury. Like, that's how it felt from the outside. So it was like, just at that moment when I feel like you kind of established yourself as like all right, he's going to be around, he's doing his thing, he's one of the top guys. Then the injury came, and it really was, I feel like it was, I didn't know it was 6 years, but just from being a kind of person that watches battles and knows the scene a bit, like, I felt your absence, I think, like in that time. And so I guess from the outside, it's like, and I remember you judged, what's the name of that battle? Hip Obsession?
Yeah.
That
That
you
was
judged it,
right.
but you didn't do your showcase.
Bro,
'Cause you were
that was like 2 days after the surgery.
Oh, that was right. Okay. But that was, you said 2019.
That's
you did surgery.
2019. Yeah.
Because I remember you seeing that, and I remember, because, you know, we know this with people like Evian or other people where they don't battle as much, and maybe it's like a personal choice, or they're like, you know, I think dude from France,
Waity.
he doesn't really battle anymore, and I think it's like a personal thing. He choose not to.
Yeah.
So then I think I didn't really register that it was the injury that took you out for 6 years. I was like, oh, maybe he was injured and had other things. Also, a lot of dancers are like you could be doing theatre work. You know what I mean? You might have stepped away. And then I saw you didn't do when all the judges came out. I was like, oh, let's check the judge showcase. And then you didn't do it. And I was like, oh, it's the injury is why he really hasn't been dancing, like, you know, in these things. But how, because you said, like, you know, the injury doesn't, I can't remember exactly what you just said to Dylan, but
You don't
like,
lose yourself.
yeah, it
You
doesn't
don't
make
lose
you lose
yourself,
yourself. But like 6 years after having like established yourself, people know you as that. Like, how is this affecting you internally? Did you have to go through it and figure shit out within yourself to get to this point where you're like, the injury doesn't make you lose yourself?
Yeah.
Was it like that from day one, or
No.
No.
Absolutely not. I actually have a video. I have a video that is not that much viewed, which is really interesting because it's about my mental journey with the injury.
Okay.
Like a Ask a Paradox, because I used to.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I used
Yeah.
to do those where I would take some topics that people asked about and do a little podcast. No,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
really,
kind of.
but,
Yeah.
but a little talk about it. And I talked about that journey with the injury, and indeed, it took me time because I had to fight depression and all that
I
shit
bet,
through
yeah.
it, you know.
Right.
Because at first it felt like, I'm limited to be myself. I
You
lost
don't have that expression.
You know,
Yeah.
I can't dance. I can't be who I actually am. I'm stuck in a vessel that is not able to represent me anymore. You know, that's what it feels like at first. And then I just had to go through that journey of figuring out what it truly means in the broader spectrum of like what is happening in my life, you know, not just looking at it. See, that's the thing. When you look at things simply, it is valuable, but at sometimes it can get you stuck in a certain mindset.
Okay.
You know, where if I would have just simply continued to look at it like, oh, I can't dance.
Right.
Sure. But then I realized someone who is blind can hear better. So what is changing in my body? What is changing for me? How does this injury that I have now, where did the energy of that leg that I had transfer to? And I started realizing, I started creating a whole lot of new ideas and other ways to express myself.
Sick.
I personally really love thinking creatively, for instance, about business within dance. Not because I love money, but because I love creating stories. For instance, like the story of a brand is really fun to me. It's dope.
I'm with you on that.
You know, and that was how do you say that? Pushed to the forefront and amplified because my mental capacity, my brain was basically my capacity that I used, for instance, 50% body, 50% that, I had to now change it.
Yeah.
And another 10 or 20% went to something else. And when I started realizing that, I became aware of being able to transfer that energy from place to place. Like, okay, where I'm going to navigate it to now. And I just realized that I am not less of myself. I am expanding in a different place, and I have to redirect that awareness and attention to that part so that I feel complete again. You know?
Yeah, I think that's like, I always talk about this where it's like, I have this, like, the way I think is that like an artist isn't defined by what medium they choose to express themselves, right? So it's like, I was talking about this just recently, maybe it was on the cross-platform pod or something, but like, if let's say, Dylan does photography stuff, or video, but it was like, say if you're a great dancer and you do other things as well as an artist, but if I gave you my camera and I was like, all right, these buttons do this, I'm sure you could just do a fire photo shoot, but because it's not about the medium, it's about you have an artistic vision because you're an artist, and wherever if someone taught you to paint, I'm sure you'd be able to come up with
That's wild.
He could have said anything. That's pretty good.
Tell me.
That's wild.
That's pretty good. If that's not a sign,
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't know.
What did I do?
Nothing.
Okay, we leave that.
No,
as a secret.
but it's very interesting
Okay.
because what you're talking about an artist being an artist. My dream and goal has always been being an artist, not being a dancer, and that's not true. Not always, but especially like the
Later,
past 5-6 years. So I do have dreams and goals to. I was always inspired by Leonardo da Vinci since I was a kid. The fact that he had so many mediums that he expressed himself in.
Yeah.
You know, he was a painter, he was a sculptor, architecture, philosopher.
Yeah.
He wrote plays and music. Did like so much. He worked on anatomy. So many freaking layers.
Yeah.
And for some reason, just as a kid, it felt like I was looking at a sage. Like, whoa, this is like a wizard almost. You know, it felt very magical.
Yeah.
And that energy has stuck with me. And it's as I, for instance, now saw the new Da Vinci's, such as, for instance, a Tyler the Creator, or
Pharrell is a great example for me.
or a Pharrell.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like all the different stuff he does. He's like, he's just Pharrell in a
Yeah,
way, whether
for
it's
real.
like clothes or
Or,
this or that.
Childish Gambino.
Yes, he's
yeah.
a great example.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seeing that, I was like, yo, we need this more
Yeah.
as dancers.
That's
Some
it.
people who actually expand the talent that they have to multiple mediums. And
100%.
indeed, I want to paint. That's what
okay.
I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so it's crazy that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said painting.
But
'Cause-
it's like I have no doubt that you would be very good at it, because it's like I think there's only so far that the technical knowledge is to facilitate your artistic vision.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you can be. I know a lot of photographers, or not personally, but that I've seen, or some that I do know personally, that have great technical knowledge. They understand all the shit that you need to understand as a photographer. But I was like, I still don't like your photography because I don't connect with your artistic vision. Some people, I'm like, I don't think you have one. You're just taking pictures of what's there and then going, I did it. And it's like, for me, it's like there's another layer to that. It's like you can know how to set up a podcast, but what are you saying?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can know how to do all the dance moves, but what are you expressing with that? And I think it's like
Truth, yeah.
you can learn any discipline, really. Like anything that's possible to be taught is possible to be learned by anyone. But what's not possible to like just get is your artistic vision. That takes a lot of like internal work. So I think this is like, I love what you're saying about that, where it's like the injury kind of forced you to be like, okay, but to almost detach yourself from the idea that your identity or your artistic vision was attached to dance. It's like it detached that. And it's like it's not. It's whatever I choose. I just happen to love dance and I happen to love this arena. But whether it's this or whatever, that's. I'm still gonna be Kevin Paradox.
I would like to add like something that you guys were saying about the injury. When I started to get deeper into dance and I started to evolve and get better at dance, and when dance, you know, started to bring me the experiences that it has brought me and the beautiful things that I've accomplished through dance, I think on a subconscious level, I attached my identity and my value and my worth to the skill level that I accomplished with dance and like the attention it brought, and on a subconscious level, like the followers and how other people saw me. I kind of attached my identity to that. So when I got injured, I actually told my parents that I'm not gonna ever go back to dance. I'm not like, this is it, because I couldn't face the possibility of being worse than I was. And I felt less of myself. And like you said, like you really lose yourself, because for a long time you think that's you. And the injury allowed me as well to kind of stop and being like, if I've lost myself, then who was I? Who am I? You know? And if I don't know who I am, how can I really truly express my dance? And the funny thing is, when I injured myself that year, and when I as well like was going through depression and all the things that going through that injury brought up within myself, and it really forced me to dive deeper within myself, that's when my dance went to a whole nother level. And that year I made all the favorite pieces that people talk about today. It was those pieces of heartbreak and those pieces of self-discovery and expressing my pain and being so vulnerable, because I didn't care anymore. I was like, I'm gonna stop anyway, so I might as well just tell people show people how I feel, because I'm probably we won't get too deep, but
Oh, bro, you're already there. You might as well. Just
No, what I was about to say, I was like, I'm probably not gonna be alive next year, so that's what I'm talking about. You know, you already know, but
I already know.
But I mean, this is also another like counterintuitive thing about life, where it's like sometimes it's like the letting go makes you more connected than you've ever been to the thing. Like I even find that with people, like when you're desperate to like be friends with someone and you're like, oh, I really want to be like, I've had that in my life where I'm like, you know, someone's really fucking cool and I'm like, I just want to be friends with them, like because they're cool or whatever, and I'm like trying to hang out, or a girl or whatever, like you're trying to like talk to them or whatever. It's when you just let it go and
attract.
And it just kind of I don't know what it is, to be honest, and I'm not really like I don't know if there's like maybe a more spiritual way of thinking about this, but when you Go.
Keep going, please.
Yeah, yeah. But like when you let go of like trying to force something, whether that's like force your expression, force your identity into something, force your connection with someone or something, it's almost like the natural tendencies happen. Like I think a good example is like maybe me and your friendship, because like I don't think we've ever tried to be friends, right? But I feel like over the last year or so, like we've started getting closer. We started talking more. I remember we went to watch the show with Tally in Sadler's, and I didn't really know you then. I knew who you were from the scene.
We knew of each other.
But it's just like, oh hey, you know the polite like, hey, how's it going? And then we kind of watched the show and went home. And I remember from then till now, it's like, there's no part where I've ever been like, oh yeah, let me make an effort to talk to Dylan, or like, you know what I mean? But it's like, I've always had in my head like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy. Like, you know what I mean? I see you in the scene and I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I like this guy. Like, I like his energy or whatever. And it just happens that it's like, you start to get closer with people. And I think it's a similar thing that happens with art as well, where it's like, if you, obviously it's a bit of a paradox, because you, because you have to make stuff happen business wise, and you have to like, you know, I can't just sit at home and this podcast happens. Like, I have to make an effort. But there's like a way of detaching yourself maybe from the outcomes or what it means to you that makes it more real or organic or secure. I don't quite know what the thing is, but does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was thinking, that's the same experience you have when you lose something and you search for it for the whole day. You're like, you know what?
Fuck it.
just let it go, and you just grab something. That's right. You know, but that's
You're
crazy.
trying to remember somebody's name. You're like, what's the actor's name from the thing? You're like, oh fuck it, never mind. Oh, it's John. Like, yeah.
I wonder what that is. Does it maybe have to do that with when you try to grasp something that you're actually holding on to a feeling, an idea that you have premeditated, like, oh, it's this, and then because you're holding on to it, you're not able to actually grab the thing that is actually what you are searching for.
That's a really
is
good
that
way
what
of
it is?
putting
Something that has happened in my life over the past few years is I discovered meditation 5 years ago, and just going deeper within myself, just on a level that I haven't discovered before. And I was able to quiet my mind and raise my frequency. Now, when I got injured, I didn't want to do anything in life. I couldn't imagine doing anything in life. And going through depression, that's the scariest thing, that nothing inspires you, nothing motivates you, nothing makes you feel alive. And that's really scary to feel as someone who was once had a passion for life, you know? And I think when I started to quiet my mind and tap into higher frequencies, I think it's the reason why I do so many things today, is because I feel like I can do anything and find interest and passion and love within anything that aligns with my values for life and my life goals, which is not about dance anymore. It's more about even, breaking it down like art, community, culture. If I can find these principles within other mediums, then I think I can find my happiness within them. And when I started to dance, I was like, yeah, dance is the thing. And I don't want to do anything else. Don't want to hear about it. I just want to dance, but there's more to life.
Yeah, and I think it's also about, like, if you attach yourself to a thing, like you're defining, other people are defining you by that thing, but you're also defining yourself by that thing, and it's like an external validation, or like it's not the right word, but like that thing can change, right? It's like if I define myself as someone that I'm a podcaster, and then podcasts go out of fashion and no one really listens to them anymore, well, who am I now? Like, these things like change and go, and it's like, if you're you, dumb thing to say, but like if you figure out who you are, I think the important thing is you need something, and this is why maybe we were all anchored to dance and connected through dance, but you need something to use as a vehicle to figure that out. And then once you figure that out, then you step back. Like, I play basketball a lot as well, and I was never that good. I was like, it's a whole nother podcast. But like, I think the thing with basketball.
Yo, can you imagine? Like, I thought he was gonna get emotional for a second. He thought it as well. He was like, I was never that good.
No.
Cue
but
music.
it is an emotional topic, but not because of my
shit.
level.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No,
I'm
not
sorry.
because of my level on it. But like,
We're out here
I
laughing
tried
at
it. I'm so short.
I'm sorry. We're
No.
sorry.
No.
at the height.
Sorry, no.
At
I
the
started
height.
thinking about the next thought. That's why I stopped. No, but like, say with basketball, it's like I played pretty solidly from when I was like really young until I was maybe like 18, 19 when I started dance, and I stopped playing basketball as much. But like, I figured out like a lot of my early friendships and my real like early bonds with other guys was through basketball, and all the close friends I had I met through basketball. I feel like I figured out myself in terms of how pushing myself and my body, my mental capacity, I guess, like was through training. Like, how hard can I push myself and not give up, and how much do I need other people's support, and how much can I push myself, my competitive element, like how well I can pick up skills, the role I play in like a team or family dynamic, like all of these things I figured out in basketball. So I feel like by the time I stopped playing, by that point I wasn't, and I still define myself like through having played basketball, but not as a basketball player. But it's like I needed that first thing to anchor myself with, to like learn all these lessons, and then I can go, all right, well, now I've taken all these things, that's me. Now through dance I have those same lessons, and I find myself like when I train at Renegades, it's like it's been a while since I've trained there, but like a lot of the pop-in drills and stuff they do is like, all right, we're gonna do Fresno for like 20 minutes and you're just gonna keep doing it, and it's like it doesn't matter if you're tired, like keep going. And it's like through that I feel myself like reverting to the lessons of basketball. Like I'm like pushing through, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's
this
it.
pop's fucking hurt, but I have to keep. And it's like, this is the mode I used to be in when I trained. But it's like I learned that skill of like, you know how hard you can push yourself. Like this is nothing compared to doing full court sprints. So I think you get these.
Those are brutal.
Bro. Although if I kept doing them, I would have a six pack. But but you know what I mean? It's like you have this first thing, and I think maybe this is what you found through dance, and then it me quitting basketball is maybe like your injury. You know, it's like you had that moment to go, hold on a minute, I'm gaining a lot from this thing, but now let me take the lessons onto myself. And it's maybe same with your injury, like take these lessons onto myself, and where else am I going to put them? How am I going to like let this sink in and become who I am? You know what I mean?
I hear you. It's very interesting, actually, because as you say it, we always knew, but I realize again how valuable it is for kids to be a part of a community where you together strive for specific things without too much pressure on it, you know?
Yeah.
Because for me, the first things I did was indeed also basketball, but where I got everything from. My whole mentality, how I approach dance, all of it is from martial arts.
Okay.
Those are my lessons. Watching Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
Yeah, I heard you talking about it on the, what's the name of the podcast? Grace Audio?
Yeah, it's Grace Audio.
Yeah, shout out to them. I just listened to it. It was good podcast.
Yeah, just
Did his research.
Yeah, man. That's my base. You know, when I stand there and I battle or I do anything within dance, the first thing I search for is emptiness. Emptiness.
How do you mean?
Be water, my friend.
I was about to say it.
But is it kind of
Shapeless.
meditation thing, isn't it? To
It
have
connect.
that, like,
It connects to all of that.
Okay.
It connects to the It's one spectrum, right? You have meditation, but you also have the zone through sports,
Okay.
right? It's just a frequency where you accept everything and you give room for whatever is needed in the moment, you know? And I guess that also that's probably the most important thing I learned, to harness that emptiness more and more, because now I can't move too much. You know what? I have to stop thinking about all that pain in my body, so I have to become empty, you know? And for me, that's what I take with me throughout life the whole time. So I'm in a constant dance because I'm constantly trying to be in a state that I want to feel, just the whole time, and then bring that into dance or bring that into whatever else. And that is because of martial arts completely. So that's it. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's kind of like, from my experience, it's kind of like it's a state of emptiness, and emptiness not meaning that it's lacking, but
because emptiness has a weird connotation, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Can I?
oh yeah,
we are more emptiness than actually matter. Right? There's more nothingness between atoms than there is actual substances within that atom. So space is emptiness, but we need space.
Right. So it's not a negative emptiness.
I know this.
You know?
Yeah.
Actually,
They talk about space. Like they talk about that in space there's more nothingness.
Yeah.
And that is what feels most of the
Yes.
I mean, even in art, I think like something I talk about a lot when I teach workshops is that like stillness and silence. Yeah. Have you done?
Yeah.
When did you do?
Oh no, I'm just.
Oh, I thought
like I know because
Connecting to that stillness.
yeah,
is one of
because
those
I
words.
connect to that
Silence,
concept
stillness.
so
Like,
much. Like
In dance, especially, like stillness and silence are like some of the most powerful tools that an artist has. Like those moments where like you stop and do nothing. It's like, and if you ever try it in a battle, like standing still for like one count, it's like the scariest shit in the world.
I
But
love it.
it's so powerful, especially in the right moments. And I think even if I'm thinking photography, like negative space is like so.
was
If you
about to
have
say it.
like someone's face and an entire thing, it's like I'm almost more drawn to their face than if
Yes.
it filled up the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
If we wouldn't have space, we would literally have nothing. Actually, Ooh,
That's true.
that's crazy.
Hey.
Because if I
Nothing
want
is a
to,
part of the something.
you know,
Yeah.
because if I want to write something, I need the negative spaces in between the letters, the
Yeah.
words, the lines for it to become a letter and a word, right? I always use this. I don't know if analogy is the right word, but it's an example of an empty canvas before you start painting, or a what is it? A sculpture making a sculpture, right? Because you have that stone, that rock, that huge block of or marble, and to me, it's always been so interesting that they see a object in just a block, you know, but actually when you would take like, let's say 5 sculptures and you put them, make them look at that block, they might all see a completely different art piece available within that block, which means that actually that block itself is all of those things. And the second you start tinkering at it, you now define it into one thing specifically.
Yeah.
And I kind of try to go back to the state of being that block, that rock of nothingness, because everything is now possible.
That's a really good way of thinking of that. Like, it's funny that you bring that up actually, because
Let's go.
because I'm still trying to work on like doing some theater work and stuff like that. I don't know if we've spoke about this much, but the company that I do that choreography stuff under, I call it Making an Elephant, and it's from this story of I don't know if you heard the quote, but it's like, I don't know if it's a real quote or not, but that someone asked a sculptor like, how do you make this elephant or whatever from the thing, and he said I just take the block and get rid of anything that doesn't look like an elephant.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, that's a
And-
real thing.
And
Yeah,
this
that's a
is
real
really
thing.
like how I love this, and it's funny because I take a slightly different message, but I love your interpretation of that type of thing, because for me it's like it's the reason I call the company that is because this is how I choreograph, where I try and picture what the thing should look like at the end. I'm like, because whenever sometimes if I listen to a song or I see the choreography or I see the piece that it's gonna be, and then all I have to do is like in my head is like slow it down and like pause it and move along like Minority Report and be like, okay, what is this? Okay, zoom in, and I'm like, okay, so the first count is that, and it's almost like I'm teaching myself the choreography backwards, and then I just go, okay, cool, I know what it is because it's this. But I think it's really interesting where it's like the other side of that is that like in a way the blank rock is my brain. That sounds really dumb to say. You know, my brain is a blank marble, but yeah, it really is that. It's kind of like, it's more what I think I like about what you see in it is that it's more the possibility.
Yeah.
It's like anything is possible within that, whether it's on a canvas, like a white piece of paper
It's
is
nothing. And so
everything.
it's
You know what I mean?
everything
Yeah,
until
yeah.
you put a color on it, and now it's like, oh damn, okay, so now we have to work with that color.
That's why I wanted to say before, like when you do go to that state of emptiness, it's not that it's lacking, it's that when you do reach that state, that is the entrance of limitless possibilities. And also the reason why I found this so fascinating in meditation. The reason why we focus on the breath is because it's the only thing available to us 24/7. We do it like all the time unconsciously. That is formless. You cannot think about breath. You cannot think breath. You can only observe the breath, and it's formless. And I think also, like, you want to tap into frequencies that the thinking mind cannot fully grasp or comprehend. It's more of a feeling or an intuition, or again connecting on those frequencies, not via the thinking mind. And I think that's where the limitless possibilities exist. And
because I mean, even with choreography, it's like, again, this is something I've thought of before, but not in this way. But it's like, if you have a blank stage, right, and then you put someone in the middle, it's like you've already said something before anything's happened. Like the lights come up and someone's standing in the middle. Okay, that says something. The lights come up and I'm stage left. That says a whole different story. Now, if I'm stage left but I'm facing the stage right,
man,
that says a whole other thing. And it's like,
crazy, right?
We're already telling a story just by placing something in the space, or placing, like you said, one dot on the canvas. It changes everything. And it's like, so now to think of that as like, right, but if I can remove everything from the stage before, like, what if there's nothing on stage? Now,
it's
what, or on the canvas or whatever, it creates like possibility. It's almost like the reverse. I had never thought about it as reverse. Like the more you take out, the more possibilities you allow to happen.
What I just thought about when he said that, but about when we talked about this, the canvas, and the canvas is white, right? How do you make, like, what is the white light is all colors. Yay!
True.
It's all colors. So
Yes,
so a white canvas or a white,
Is
which
everything.
you would see as blank, is indeed everything. So it's not even like just a thought. It's literally, it's
True.
It's real.
That is true.
That's crazy.
Damn, I like that.
people better watch this damn podcast now.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It's because we joke about it all the time.
Well, if they don't, then they're not
They're
listening to
missing
us
out.
now. So we
This drink tastes better in a capsule.
That's brilliant.
that's gonna be
capsule cup.
the clip that I use. Just that.
Do it again. Do it again.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
camera's on you now.
Yeah, okay.
This is the advert.
This drink tastes better in a capsule cup.
The commitment.
The surprise on his face
Like,
is
he's
amazing.
making noises that I've never heard him say. Like,
Whoa.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro.
wait, it didn't have to be like that.
Whoa.
If you guys wanted to make it like that, I mean, sure.
You wanted to make it like that after you saw him dance at Summer Dance.
Yes. You know what's funny? I waited for a week that is gonna rain so that I can invite him here and we can share an umbrella together. That's
was
the
some
plan.
good planning. That was really good planning. Did it work? Did you share an umbrella?
It hasn't rained
We
yet.
didn't.
I'm
and now
joking.
you never,
I'm
now you
faffing
never
about.
will, because you said it.
There you
You
go.
ruined it.
Come
Come
I'm
on,
being
Dylan. So this is a bit of a left turn subject wise, but I was going to ask you about, because you started doing a lot of the like Patreon and stuff like that, which I found super interesting. And I heard you talking on the other podcast about, it was right at the end and I was like, oh damn, I wish they did like another hour. But you were saying that you really like the business side of dance and you find it fun and stuff like that. So because what I would have assumed, and maybe it's not true, is that the Patreon and stuff came as a result of being out with an injury and like, all right, I need to find other ways to monetize my dance or to make a living. But when I heard you talking about that you find it fun, I was like, oh, maybe this was just something that his brain was like, Dylan's very much like this, of like, what's a new venture I can do? And I don't think, like, not that money is irrelevant, but it's just like that's not the driving force. It's more the new venture and the new exploration that you want. So was the Patreon kind of just a side project, or what was the reason behind that, I guess?
I had been doing the 30 days of dance for like, I think 3 years or something. And there's different pieces to the puzzle. Yes, of course, the injury gave me the room and the mental capacity to focus on something else, because I was not able to occupy my time and so had free time to create something else. But I'm just very curious and interested in how do I explain this? The wires between social structures and social media. And it's very interesting to me. How is it that someone can take a hashtag and it all of a sudden becomes a movement or becomes a story, gets a feeling, an energy. Like, that's crazy to me. How do you do that, you know? And within the dance, that is not something that we do so much. It's not something we are aware of. It's not studied, you know? And so when I did the 30 days of dance, I asked myself, am I able to not per se own this, but am I able to make this hashtag into more, you know, into something that actually creates a brand for me, as well as almost like an empire, you could say.
Yeah.
And that was actually the driving force. Like, what can I do with this hashtag? What can I make out of it? And at first, I made a bit of a small community out of it, which was cool. You know, I just did the 30 days of dance, for those who don't know, where I did on Instagram a 30-day challenge, did a dance round every single day with a specific exercise that is from my book of exercises,
Right.
you know, and just asked everyone to join in, and I would repost, of course, and we just have a great time of practicing together as a small community, but then online. And then after, I think 3 years, I was like, okay, so can I make a next step within this? What is it? And that's when was it during COVID? I think it was the first one right away.
The online one?
Yeah, I don't know if the first one was
tutorials.
Yeah.
I think it was during COVID.
The first one?
2020?
I remember watching some, but I don't remember when I first saw it.
I don't remember if it was during COVID, the first one, but that would make sense, probably.
Yeah, it would, yeah, true.
You know,
if ever there's a time to make
right?
tutorials, it's then.
I think it was. No, it was. And so it was one, that curiosity of, okay, can I build an empire out of this where people can have an experience online that goes way beyond? Can I really build an experience, connect people together, those kind of things? The second thing was, everyone is trying to do classes now. I am still a competitor. I love being competitive, and this was an amazing way to be competitive. Cool, y'all promote y'all classes. I have a whole story behind a brand with this, you know. So I enjoyed the taking it up a notch, not only for myself, but maybe to inspire other people, younger dancers, to search for other ways and other ventures within the dance, so that hopefully they find another solution that can then spread out to our culture and community more and more. There was probably more, but that is kind of where it came from.
And now you're doing, so you started the tutorials not as a paid anything, it's just on YouTube for free?
It was literally just the Instagram challenge. I would just dance, literally write the explanation, and that was it. That was it. You know, and then afterwards, the first year, there was like one big payment, and then you would get access to like all the 30 classes that I did, which was
that through Patreon?
That was right away through Patreon. Yeah, it was right away through Patreon. Yes.
Yeah, I think like Dylan was on my ass about making a Patreon for the podcast, but I think it's really important for quite a few reasons. I think it's interesting, all the reasons that you said, because it's I think we assume, I think, that people don't want to pay for stuff, right? And this is kind of like, especially with Instagram, Facebook, everything being free, we're kind of like, yeah, but content has to be for free, and if I pay, people are going to be like, oh, he's trying to, you know, like sell out or like make money from the
culture vulture.
Yeah, and
How
it's like,
dare you?
and I had this same conversation about Summer Dance with the live stream. It's like, I have been pissed for years with some of these big events, because I'm like, just make us pay. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know,
take my money.
Yeah, really. I'm like, I'm at home. Like, you don't have a live stream, and I can't see it at home. It's not gonna. For me, it's not gonna change my opinion on whether or not I'm going to an event. It may be different for younger guys, but for me, I'm like, you having a live stream doesn't mean I'm not gonna go to your event. It just means if I can't go to your event, I want to watch it at home. I want to be part of the action, right? And it doesn't even have to be a fucking live stream. It could be pre-made videos. I'm like, put all your videos behind a paywall. Fine. Like, I'll pay. And I think Summer Dance is like €5 per category or something. I paid double that. Like, I'm not saying up the price, guys, but like, if they were like, it's €10 to tune in for the live stream, and you get to be a part of the vote, and like, it's good
for the
quality,
finals.
what?
So Summer
yeah,
Dance live stream was free, and then if you wanted to watch the finals, you pay €5.
But I paid from the beginning and just watched the whole thing on
Not the finals though.
from the judges.
From the judges.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I just pay from the beginning and watch it all there, so I don't have to switch over. But I think it's just like I want to pay because it's like I know this is costing you money, and I know that in order to add a new experience or to have me involved, like I don't want it for free. Do it, I'll pay. And then we can, not only can I support the event without having to be there and without having to also travel and fucking support British Airways or whatever, do you know what I mean? It's like, I can just directly support your event and I can get access to something that is special for me and is worth my money, I think, you know, to watch these things. Like, I love fucking tuning into BC One and Just Taboo. Like, I wish Just Taboo had the same model that Summer Dance have. But, and I think also it in a way, it sounds weird because it almost sounds like we shouldn't do that through business, but it like creates like a little community within the paywall, if you know what I mean. Like, once you're like, I imagine there's other people that subscribe to your Patreon, and if they have friends that also subscribe to it, they can kind of like talk about like this or that.
Yo, I had a dope experience with that too. Of people in the States, a friend of mine, Kisu. Almost said his name. Sorry, Jason. He met with someone in the States and they both had the Patreon, you know. Right. So he told me about it, like, yo, this was crazy to just connect with somebody all the way on the other side, you know, and that's really beautiful and dope to hear. But no,
I think it's really important. And I think, you know, like a lot of the main thing I consume on YouTube is like podcasts, like comedy podcasts, and a lot of them will have a Patreon. And a lot of as part of the Patreon, they have like access to like a private Discord thing. And like all the people that are on the Patreon will chat and they really have like a community there. And I think it's like, you can create that through like not having to pay loads, but like pay €5 for even the live stream. It's like, I got my friend to come over, we both watched it. And then my other friend watched it. So we were like texting, but, oh, are you watching Summer Dance? Like, I used to have this with Kieran like way back. And we actually used to bet on Summer Dance.
That's good. That's so good.
I'm sorry, bro. If you ever lost money because of me, I'm so sorry.
That's so.
I don't know that.
Wait, but did you bet against me though?
So I have to go now.
Because I'm here.
And that's the end of the podcast. No, you know.
I don't know about this stuff no more.
Turn off the camera.
That would be so funny.
No. But you know what we used to do? I think this was Kieran's idea. It was like a group as well. I don't know if it's fine to say this, but I don't care. But we used to, at the beginning, you pick like dancers from I think it's from the top 16.
Oh, you're starting something now, bro.
But we would pick our dancers, like who do you think would win? And I think you get like 3 or something like that, and you choose like, okay, so this year I'm gonna take Paradox, Boo Boo, and Alex, and if whoever gets the furthest out of your 3,
the points accumulate.
Well, I think it was just like you put money in a pot. Like, it was like we did like £2 or something silly, but it's like you put it in, and then whoever's one guy gets the furthest. Even if it's in the finals, you know what I mean? Then that person gets all the money or whatever. So
that's funny.
But I think this is what I mean, where it's like,
that's really
and
good.
I'm not.
That's dope. It's dope, actually.
I'm not advocating for gambling, but what was really cool about it was, and like I said, we never did anything consequential, but it's like, it creates this like community. Like, you have a group chat and every battle is like, oh, okay, it's like Paradox versus Alex.
This your guy. You think he's gonna make?
And I think it can be the same with anything, you know, whether it's like people that listen to a podcast or people that subscribe to your Patreon and take the lessons. It's like those things create a little community. And sometimes, I don't know if this is like a bad way to say this, but you need a little barrier to entry to like create a community. If that makes sense. Because
absolutely.
It's like it shows the people that really
absolutely
are there. Even if it's a really small, like €5 or whatever, these are the people that really care. And sometimes the barrier to entry doesn't have to be money. It can be all the people that made it down to the event, like the people that go to Summer Dance. And I've been there once, I think, but inside the venue you feel like, oh, we're all a part of this same thing. And there was the money of the ticket, but it's also, we made the effort to fly here, you know, we're the people that made the effort to be in the building. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. And about a new model being spread to the community, I think that's really interesting, because it's like we get in this, and it's kind of links into the battle winning topic, but we get into this habit of being like, there's only one way to succeed, is to win all the battles. That's it. And it's like, this sort of thing is like, alongside the artistic stuff, is like, and you know, I think Dylan's a great example of this with the billion different things that you do in the scene, but it's like, there's a million ways to love this culture and art in general, and to contribute and to make a living for yourself and to express yourself, you know. So yeah, I think that's really good. But has it been everything you hoped it would be, or is it like something that's been a bit of an up and down struggle?
The Patreon?
Yeah.
It's I didn't hope it would be anything.
Because
it was
blank canvas. You were empty.
Hey.
I'm learning.
Hey, but that's actually a thing. I try to be in a state of acceptance all the time, as opposed to in a state of
Expectation.
expectation.
Yeah.
Ooh, acceptance instead of expectation. Yeah. No, absolutely. So the only thing that I hoped was that people got something out of it.
Right.
You know. And it's been an on and off thing. It's been the amount of energy I put into, for instance, the first year, I ended up being injured. Like, I think halfway through, I tore my adductor. Do we know what is that? Is that
in
right?
your knee?
No, my adductor in the hamstring.
Okay.
I believe that makes sense. Hamstring connection to the growing.
Right. Okay.
If that's the right.
Yeah.
I tore it.
That's crazy.
And so every round after that, I had to do 2 videos a day, one class and one session myself. But I didn't want to fake the training, so I would train for 3 hours, you know, and then do the video. Then I had to edit it myself at that time. So it was a lot.
All three of us know that struggle.
I was just about to say that, like, because you until you edit videos and you go through that process of the whole process, you really, yeah.
And so
after a day of,
it sounds so easy. It's like, just edit the video. It's chill. You're sitting down.
You have to listen to that full hour or 2 hours that you talked. You have to listen through all of it, and you know what I mean. So it takes a long time, and there were amazing things that happened. Responses, like especially like the second year of people coming back, and some people ask me like, "Hey, can I help you with something? Can I do this or that?"
Amazing.
Shout out to Plamen, Plamen. I said it right. Or people asking like, "Yo, can I?" Someone even asked, "Can I pay your food for you?" Because I was sleeping at my studio at that time on a bed, waking up, starting to dance, and like there was I hate saying this, but there was 1 week where I didn't shower for the whole week to do all those classes.
Right.
You know, so the response and the connection that I was able to feel with the people was beautiful. But there were also definitely a lot of moments where I was like, I might be doing too much to myself right now, and so much so that I've said, okay, this year I'm not doing it because
at all.
I can't. I literally can't. With all the injuries that I have now, I know that it's gonna be very dangerous for me.
Is
to
it
do
still there for people to like they can?
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
backlog
There's
of-
like 60 classes available
wow.
there, through which I think about 10, 11 classes are not by me, but are by friends of mine who are
Sick.
absolutely amazing.
Nice.
And hopefully when I turn 30 next year, I can do another one and plan it out way better, and make it into an even bigger online event with
Sick.
possible real life
Parts of it.
Coming to my actual studio, that
Amazing.
kind of stuff. So I have a dream for it.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing run, and it did definitely change my life.
Amazing.
I don't have to travel right now, which is crazy. I do not have to travel. I'm so thankful for that. Not because I don't want to, but with these injuries, sometimes taking that travel because you have to is very painful. I'm not gonna say what battle, but I did a battle this year, and I was sick, and my body was messed up.
Yeah.
I can't say too much. I don't want.
Thanks for coming to London, though.
You already knew.
He's like, I did this event and it was a showcase. I hated every minute of it. Like,
but I just had to get through.
Organizers whack, bringing me to crappy food places.
I'm not getting paid well. No,
hey, getting decent.
No,
you said you don't need it. You said you're good, bro.
Yeah.
You don't need to
It's all
travel.
about
How dare you say that now?
You're doing it for the love, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be messed up if I would like start talking shit after saying this and everything?
Yeah.
No, but what was I saying? No, I forgot. Sorry.
That you said you don't have to travel now because
Yeah,
of
it's
like that, which I
it
think
changed my freaking life.
a lot of people
Beautiful.
wouldn't get, or a lot of young dancers, I don't think they would understand that at all, because it's like, I think for a lot of young dancers, it's like, what do you mean you get to travel and you get to be guest or judge at these battles and you get to see all the world? And it's like, they don't get that at some point that becomes really hard work. And
Yeah,
it's
can
like,
I?
Yeah.
Can I
please
speak
do.
on that?
Yeah,
So
please
that's
do.
because that is my whole shtick
Mm.
right now. That's the whole thing. My current place where I'm at mentally
Mhm.
is really figuring out like the parameters of what I want to do and who I am within the scene, and trying to find other ways to express myself.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing that I realized that really like has really been getting to me as of the past maybe 3 years. That's why the 30 Days of Dance or whatever.
Right.
It is that it's beautiful to travel and see all these people. It's amazing. But what really got to me is that every time I go back home, I have nothing but money. Just a few dollars.
Right.
That is it. I don't have anything to hold on to. So if I would not travel the next time, there is nothing anymore. Because
Okay.
basically, I go there to somebody else's event and I work for their event. I build up,
Right.
I tinker at your event, which is lovely. But when I leave, I continue to tinker at other people's dreams as opposed to that of my own.
Yeah.
It was never my dream to teach and travel in that way.
Yeah.
I just love dance.
Yeah.
And so now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, how can I build my brand and really express my narrative
Yeah.
to people? Same with battles. This whole conversation that we're having right now, 2 months after, about 2 months after Summer Dance, at a battle there is no room. I can't share this. People don't know what actually went through, what was the process to get there. But it's such a beautiful process, and it would be nice to be able to share that.
Yeah.
So ventures like this, things like this, are so valuable because they give room for sharing your own narrative, and with that, you possibly give the dancers the opportunity to really create their own brands.
Yeah.
And with that, when we grow more and more as dancers, at a certain point, we are able to make this brand into something that is valuable for more people. And I can have people that work for me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now we don't have that lack of jobs within the dance culture.
That is so good.
It's big, man. It's big.
Yeah.
It's freaking big.
Yeah, we've been talking about it a lot.
Yeah, it's my
We've
whole
had a lot
thing
of-
right now.
Yeah, I love that, because I think it's very much on the wavelength that I'm thinking on as well. And it's like, we often think about being a part of the culture and a part of the scene and these type of things, and a part of the community, where it's like you're going to, and I had have that, where I like to go to different events. I like to travel. I like to see people all around the world or whatever when I'm at these things. But yeah, it's really like, okay, cool. But I don't want to minimize that, because it is important to,
It's amazing.
to travel, and it is amazing. Yeah, like the people that you
Yeah,
meet and stuff.
it's-
It's like, we've just been on the young generation here about traveling, and they're finally starting to. So I don't want to undo that. Like, keep
Bro.
doing it, guys.
Yeah, 100%.
But there is also something to be said of like, what are you like contributing, and there is a contribution by being a part of it. But if you, like you said, if you build something and you get it to a stage where you can hire people, you're now like, we don't have to like ask for a platform. We don't have to ask for money. We don't have to ask for like the opportunities, because we're giving it to people in our scene, and we're the ones that are in like these positions of power, where it can be like like I was at Clara's thing last night.
Oh
the
yeah, how
Queen's
was
speech.
it?
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
Amazing.
But what was really cool is like, basically there was this project that they were doing here where it's like an exchange with the Philippines. You know Clara?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So they did like 3 girls from the Philippines and then 3 from here, and then the girls from here went to the Philippines for 3 weeks, and then the girls from the Philippines came here. And what they did at the end was
Really
they
dope.
made this. It was last night. They made a showcase that was like a 45-minute showcase, but they, like the same way you'd hire a venue and run a battle, they hired a venue and ran their own theatre night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about it in the capsule, which will probably come out before this. But that, I think it's so dope because it's like we're always talking about like these theaters and these institutions like giving us a chance to showcase our work and like what do we have to do to be liked by them and this. And if you create your own platforms, it doesn't even have to be as big as those, but eventually it will be.
Yep.
And then they're going to come and ask for
Exactly.
your permission, or other you can give if you think, you know, I know the scene or I know whatever, and these people don't understand us. It's like, okay, well, you build a platform and then give those opportunities to the people that deserve it, rather than just always going to the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I think it's super important for so many different reasons. But yeah, that's more to speak about the mentality, but also like even what we started with, like just doing that every weekend is stressful. It's hard on the body. It's like, you know, if you think about, and yeah, you guys have both been traveling since you were young, but like, this is also something like business wise that people don't get. I think it's like, okay, you get a fee for a battle or for judging or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, cool, it might be good and it might be worth the money, but then you also have to factor in the time traveling, the
Time traveling.
the time traveling.
They know.
So stupid.
I'm not supposed to talk about that.
Yeah.
This will get edited out.
Just like another paradox walks through the door and he's like, everything has to stop.
That's how he got so good at dance. It's time travel. He just trains,
every
time
time
travels back.
Like he actually lost summer dance like 12 times and he just kept going back. He's like, all right, let me try one more time.
12 chances.
That's crazy.
He's like, and then this time he won and he's like, okay, cool, this is the timeline.
He's like, it was always going to happen.
Yeah. Because
It was inevitable.
Because I have infinite chances.
That's a Thanos speech. But yeah, I mean, the time that it takes to travel and like the time away from friends and family, like you're in, you know, I've heard so many fucking people sorry for my rant, but like, be like, you know, people that travel, like, you know, when like guests come over to the UK, or when I've been in other countries and people have gone over and they're like, oh yeah, this person like didn't really even speak to anyone and didn't come to the after party, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, like this person has like traveled all the way to fucking dance for you. Like they don't owe it to you to like participate in everything. Like until you do that often, you don't understand the stress and the amount of effort that these people are putting in to travel the world and do all these things. So it's like, I completely understand getting to a point where you're like, okay, I've done this a lot. Like I've met a lot of people in a lot of different countries. I have friends all over the world. Like I love this, but I got to build something, which is, I kind of feel like maybe where you're at. Like I've got to build something that doesn't mean I need to be on a fucking plane for 8 hours every 14 days, you know?
Well, it's not really the base of it. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to travel.
Sure.
It's more so, like I said, not being able to control my narrative. That's the only thing.
Right. Okay.
Right. I come there and actually what it is people have a vision of who you are, an expectation, and they want that person to be on the event.
Right.
You know, so they form everything around it to that way. But what if that is not my message? And until now, the truth is, what I truly feel and who I truly am, I haven't been able to completely express that at events, because it's not set up in a way where all the parts of what I think are valuable and important have been given the room to do so. You know,
would you, or have you, or do you explore other dance arenas like theater work or this type of stuff, where, or like, I know you used to do a lot of like videos and stuff, but these type of things where you're kind of, you can get the expression through those things that you can't through battles, maybe?
it is something that I'm thinking about a lot, and something that I haven't done it yet, because 6 years.
Yeah.
So
Give me a chance.
you know what I mean? Like
Listen,
6 years.
6
I mean,
years.
yeah. It sucks, because that is always what it gets to. Like, have you ever done?
Yeah. It's like, I'm trying my best.
I really am.
Yeah.
But right now though, I'm more intrigued and interested about moving out of the perimeters. Like, because yes, we have. That's the thing. As a dancer, that it almost feels like there's a pretty small amount of things that we can do.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, we dance behind the artist, choreograph for the artist. We do theater, or we choreograph the theater. We go into battles, or we judge the battles. We make our own events, but then I'm not an active dancer anymore, of course. Is there anything else that we teach? Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I guess if you want to get into it, setting up
Or like
businesses within,
videos
but
and
are you
stuff.
speaking more
as
The
a
dance
physical.
expression.
yes,
Ah,
expressing
Maybe
Yeah.
making videos and content.
yeah, I guess
yeah,
that's
and making that's you know,
That's kind of
and
it.
that's yeah. I personally feel not limited, but I feel
Yeah.
very excited about figuring out what else.
Mm,
You know, same with the 30 days of dance. It's different. There's
Yeah.
no one else who did it in that way, and it's really interesting to me to search. So the whole painting that we
Yeah.
just laughed about, it's not just gonna be just painting. I won't say too much about
yeah,
it,
but
but
it's
I have
something.
I have some dreams and some ideas on
Mm.
how I want to see if we can actually Tyler the heck out of this dance scene
Yeah.
as well.
And I think it is really limiting, and I think it's like you. I like the idea. I think we as consumers of the art, and maybe consumers is a bad way of saying it, but like enjoyers of people's art. It's like we connoisseurs of the arts.
Oh.
We want more stuff. Like I feel like this about battles, where it's like this 1 round, 45 seconds knockout thing. Like the only other version we have really is Seven to Smokes, and I think we're like we don't know it, but we're desperate for other options. We're desperate for like
we have to evolve from here. This can't be the final form.
No, and like what was the one that Nickel put on in Paris where?
Oh yeah, that was fire. I was actually asked for that, but I couldn't.
Who would you have been against?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know how that worked. What was the name? BTM Experience,
No, oh that's
or is that
not the one I'm talking about, but that is
the one with like the longer?
Yeah, but his company is that, and they do battles. But that one was called something different, I
It
think.
wasn't called BTM Experience.
Or maybe I'm
The
talking
longer
shit.
one.
Maybe it was.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Shout out.
where it was like Weddy and Majid, I think, and Alex and Feist. But anyway, like
Oh, that's the older one. He did it again.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
did
know
he?
if you know. Yes,
sick.
he did it again. Long. Like, I think you got 10 minutes per round. Yeah, and this time, bro, if you haven't seen that, you should
gonna check
definitely
that
see
out.
that. Shout
10
out to my
minutes
guy
per round.
Meech. Yes, he won the
Sick.
event, and it was lovely
But
to watch.
I love this type of shit. Like I think we're desperate for new ways of seeing people express, because I'm like, even me, like if I'm not thinking very artistic and I'm more thinking of like the game, like a sporty type of dance, I would I was thinking this the other day. I would love to see like a 10-round battle or something, and it's like there's like two halves or something, almost like a basketball match. You know, where it's like there's the first 5, then you take a break, then the first 5, and you have to think. It's like, right, I've got 10 rounds to do. I need to like be strategic, and I would love to see that work in someone's head. Not like I'm gonna go all out for 1 round. They're like, all right, how do you split up your dance and your art over 10 rounds, and what's the narrative you're telling over those things, and how are you? So I think it is really important that it's like, we don't just sit in what exists. Like these are the only options, so I'm going to limit myself to these options. It's like if we push the boundaries, we have more ways to express, and then the people that follow also will have more ways to express.
It's I know, I think 2 events that are, you know, pushing the boundaries are Jack of All Trades. I think it's in Canada.
Yeah, Montreal.
Yeah. They have the whole
Shout out to Monster.
Yes, sir. Every round has, if I'm correct, every round has a topic.
Yeah.
Right. And then I believe at the end they can even choose their own topic. Like, okay, we're gonna do this for 1 round, and then the other one says, okay, then we're gonna do this for the second one.
Yeah.
This is really cool because it really takes out different things in people. We are all super involved because now we know the topic, so we know what, you know. So normal people can watch this and be like, oh, I know what the heck it's about, you know.
There's some like narrative thread almost, like I can hold on to.
It's really dope. And then the other event, which I actually also was gonna do instead of summer dance, was fusion concept, because they currently have a new system that they are working on, which is I don't know how many minutes it is, but you get 5 to 10 minutes of 5 minutes, and you do whatever. So if you guys battle, you both have 5 minutes. Your timer starts, you dance. You want to dance the full 5 minutes, do your thing. If you want to dance like, I don't know, 1 minute now, and then 30 seconds after, and then 50 seconds after that, and
so
then
your round is just they keep the time and they
pause
minus
it.
that
Wow,
from the full.
Exactly.
That's sick.
Exactly. It's a very interesting concept.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept. So that's what they're working on. So I was also wanted to give a shout out to him for trying to.
I mean, they've been pushing new battle concepts since like 10 years or something, right?
always.
Like a long time since they had all the cards, and you could flip the, you know,
Yeah.
pull a different music or something. But
Yeah.
I think that's
It's
needed.
fun. I think
Yeah.
it's really necessary to have all these different. Of course, not all of them will work out, or
Yeah,
and that needs the tinkering
Yeah,
and
but
the perfecting and stuff
just
like
gotta
that.
try. Yeah.
I had a concept.
Ooh.
I used to have a battle.
Ooh.
Actually,
What was it called?
it was called the Battle Age, and the
Oh.
concept. Yeah,
Heard of the Battle Age, yeah.
there we go. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
It was a long battle though. Like it was really. That's why I stopped, or I stopped. We stopped it because it was long.
And just a lot.
It was a pre-selection where everyone basically a battle pre-selection, because that way everyone was able to actually dance and feel that. Because I wanted to give
I think that's the best way to do it.
right. I wanted to give the dancers the experience. Then after that, you have a 7-2 smoke in popping, crump hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Within the 7-2
I do
smoke,
remember this, yeah.
it's lit. They used to accumulate points, and with the points, after you had like the 3 winners of each category or 1 winner of each category, they would choose a partner from like the whole spectrum, right? And it would become a 2 versus 6, where people could try to basically steal the place of those 2, and then it continues on. It wasn't but it was really interesting because you joined a journey with the dancers as opposed to like just a battle bracket where it ends. At a certain point, you were so involved, like, yo, he got all the way from there to there, and so on and so on. So it was really dope.
And I think this kind of goes full circle, but it's like it brings more of an opportunity for people who don't win to share their art.
That's also what it was, yeah.
To share with the audience.
Yeah. Also,
yeah.
about you, because actually, you talked about that you were willing to pay, a better price, or not a better price, but maybe a little higher price.
Yeah, for sure.
for events. I was talking with a friend about that recently. Like, yo, we just went to a Kendrick show and it was like $90.
Yeah, I went to see a theatre show and I paid £80, I think.
Yeah, that's one guy.
Yeah.
Okay, of course you have the 2. Damn, I'm taking the UFC terms. The main card, and then you have.
Yeah.
What
it's
is
a different value.
Warm
Like
up
Kendrick
act
has built that value, and there's many factors, demand and etc.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
But some of the dancers.
But it comes down to how much you value the event and how much you're willing to pay for it.
The conversation that we don't actually have time to have now because we have to wrap up soon is, if we make people pay more, the organizers have to work harder and put on a better event.
And because that's what I wanted to, that's actually the whole thing that I wanted to say about that paying more. If you pay more for the event, you can actually put the dancers in better positions as well. And that is something that it's like, yo, if you actually have an event and people are willing to pay for this, maybe now not just the winner, but also
I've started seeing that.
And if I see that as a viewer and I see where my money is going, I think there's a way more money I'm willing to pay if I know what it's gonna buy me, I guess, or buy for the scene. But the only reason I would continue for another hour, but they here they cut the power if you overstay your welcome.
Oh snap!
So I'd rather do a.
No, that's like hip hop house.
Yeah,
Shout out.
They're just like nope. So yeah, I'd rather do a rap rather than them cut us. It's happened to me before. That's how I learned. I learned the hard way.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, thank you so much for being here, bro. And Dylan, of course, always thank you for being here, man.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Of course,
thank you for being down for this. Yes.
Yeah, really appreciate it, man. And I always say that like the Zoom interviews and stuff like that I don't really like because I prefer to sit with someone. And it's for me also it's more of a big compliment that it's like you gave up 2 hours of your time to come down here and talk with us. So it's like
wait, it's 2?
It's been 2 hours.
Oh no, I didn't get paid for 2 hours, Dylan.
So Dylan's gonna sort that out with you after. Just send all your invoices. And Sophie,
but bro,
Sophie, if you invoice Dylan as well.
Also, I didn't get the chance to do my 16.
That could be our outro. Let's give Paradox
I ain't doing it.
A 16 outro. All right, we'll do it after the mics are off. You'll never get to hear it, everyone. But yeah, no, honestly, thank you, bro. It's a massive.
Thank you for having us, man.
Yeah, for
bro.
real.
We love the capsule.
It means a lot when people want to come and have these conversations, and I think it's super important.
That tastes good.
Even more because it's the mug.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for being here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you like this episode, there's plenty more on YouTube. We do a weekly podcast. We've also I've got interviews with Feist, with Gino, with who else? Karam, Sunny, Marion Moton, who's an amazing choreographer. There's a bunch online, and our weekly shit chat that we do. Yeah, thanks everyone, and catch you soon. And thank you guys for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.